Good morning yet again, everybody. Rob here. I'm an alcoholic, hopping on again real quick because I'm so excited to have another story that I can share. And this is from a dear friend of the podcast that I've gotten to know recently, Julie O. And Julie has been so kind and encouraging, has sent messages up on Spotify. Just recently got a huge snowstorm. She just sent me some pictures of where she lives up in the Northeast, and I am so jealous. And my sister Angie up in the Northeast as well, she's got about 18 inches so far, where Julie says she's got about at least 2 feet, maybe going on 3 feet at this point. So again, I am so jealous down here in Tennessee. So, Julie's story, it's definitely one of resilience. And one thing I admire about Julie that I instantly could tell after reading this story is that Julie is a fighter. And that is a good thing. Here, she talks about some of the things that she lost, including family, her home. But she didn't use that as an excuse. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story as much as I have. This has blessed me a ton. And she gives all of her and another thing I love about Julie too is she's honest. I don't notice her blaming anybody but herself for the choices she made. So she's been honest, and she gives all of her glory to her higher power. So here we go. This is Julie's story. So honored to share this morning. I had my first drink at 15 and immediately loved how it made me feel. I grew up in a small town where there wasn't very much to do with my friends, so a lot of us had fake IDs and would drink together on the weekends. This drinking followed me through high school and into college, where I would drink to excess on the weekends and experience my first blackout. That was scary, but it didn't stop me from wanting to drink and feel that euphoria again. After college, I joined the United States Air Force. Even there on base, they only sold beer, but I would drink it quickly, sometimes even through a straw, trying to get that buzz. After my stint in the Air Force, I met my first husband. We got married and had 2 sons. Life was blissful until one day I got bored and decided to spend my afternoon drinking. My husband was very upset. He tried to get me help, but I wasn't ready to stop. And that's when I started hiding bottles around the house. After a long couple of years, all of my lying and sneaking alcohol around ended our 15-year marriage. I lost my home. The one on 8 acres of land that my grandfather built with his own 2 hands. The home he gave to me. I lost my 2 sons. Their father took them away from me. I was devastated. I have never felt so broken. I lost time with my kids. Time that was precious and that I'll never get back. A couple more years went by, and I became closer to my kids once again, but I was still drinking. When my boys became men, they approached me and pleaded, "Mom, you have to stop drinking. You're going to die." Hearing those words come out of my son's mouth hit me in the chest so hard that the very next day, I took an ambulance ride to the hospital. That's where my first round of sobriety began. I found God again. I became very spiritual. I was going to AA and became part of the fellowship. Life was good for 10 years. Then one day I broke my foot in several places at work. I was out of work for a year, bored, stressed, lonely, and my spirituality went down the drain. I stopped going to AA meetings, huge mistake. I relapsed because I wanted to feel good about myself again, confident, useful, like I had something to do. I wanted help enjoying life again. I drank for 9 months until my second husband said that he had enough and he was planning to leave me. I was selfish and manipulative, once again hiding bottles around the house. Let me tell you this, I wasn't about to go through that again. I sought help. I got back to my AA fellowship and found an amazing sponsor whom I call daily and meet with once a week as she takes me through the big book. I'm on step 1 with her, and I'm looking forward to working all 12 steps. I am once again very close to my higher power, whom I choose to call God. He is already working miracles in my life with 40 days sober. I am so very grateful and blessed for each and every sober day, one day at a time. Wow. Thank you so much, Julie, for the email, for the message. Thank you so much for your service in the Air Force. I appreciate that so much. And here I hear so many great things in this email. First of all, I can relate to hiding the alcohol. I know exactly what that's like. And then hoping they never find it. But somehow my wife was really good at hide and seek. She always found the bottles. But she says, after my stint in the Air Force, I met my first husband. We got married, had 2 sons. Life was blissful. Till one day I got bored and decided to spend my afternoon drinking. And sometimes that's all it takes, right? For us alcoholics, sometimes hits our bodies different. I've heard some that the first time they drank alcoholically, and then some that it turned. And I think I was kind of a mix of both. First time I ever drank, I drank so much I got sick. But then for a while, it was kind of manageable until it turned on me in my 30s. She says here, my husband was very upset. He tried to get me help, but I wasn't ready to stop. There is something that really stands out to me. I can relate. I wasn't ready to stop for a long time. I kept thinking, I can manage it. I can stop if I really want to. I guess I just don't want to. She says here, after a long couple of years, all of my lying and sneaking around alcohol ended our 15-year marriage. That's a long time to be married. And alcohol is like that roaring tornado, right? And here, poor Julie lost her husband and also precious time with her 2 sons. She says it, I lost time with my kids, time that was precious that I'll never get back. A couple more years went by that she became closer to her kids, and I think that's beautiful. But even then, she was still drinking. That was me. Even when my son was born and I made the resolution, hey, I'm going to stop. Even my daughter, when she was born, I'm going to stop. We even had, it's kind of stupid, but I even had a last hurrah day where I was going to drink my last beer. And yeah, you know how that goes. But this is heartbreaking, but her boys came to me and they were men by this point and they approached me pleading, Mom, you have to stop drinking. You're going to die. See, a lot of times, and I don't want to speak for Julie, but I've heard of many stories where either we didn't realize how bad our addiction was getting, that we were on the verge of death, or an even scarier point is that we didn't care. But then sometimes we see the destruction we're causing, the people we love the most and that love us the most. That's what finally snaps us out of it. But as Julie says here, hearing those words come out of my son's mouth hit me in the chest so hard that the very next day, I took an ambulance ride to the hospital, and that's where I found my first round of sobriety again. So, she found God again, she became spiritual, she was going to AA, became part of the fellowship, and life was good for 10 years. I think that's beautiful. 10 years of sobriety. First thing she says, 10 years. And you know what? Julie, even though you went back out, that doesn't undo those 10 years. As you've just said, these were 10 great years of sobriety. Not dry years, but great years of sobriety. That's not undone. But, she says right here, then one day I broke my foot in several places at work. I was out of work for a year, bored, stressed, and lonely. My spirituality went down the drain, and I stopped going to AA meetings. Usually that's my first step too, is I stopped going to meetings. What I end up doing is I put up other things before it. Oh, well, I got to take my son to this thing. I got to do this thing. Oh, I'm not feeling good today. I'm just exhausted. And for me, if I stop going to meetings and I stop getting plugged in, other things start to creep in. And it can be dangerous ground for me. And she says, I relapsed because I wanted to feel good about myself again. Confident, useful, like I had something to do. So finally she goes back out. Drank for 9 months until things got bad again. But I want to mention a couple things. At least she came back. In 9 months, I know 9 months seems like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, she could have chosen to drink for 9 more years. So 9 months went by. She's drinking. Her second marriage is getting bad. But she knows. It says here, let me tell you this, I wasn't about to go through that again. She knows how bad it could be because of the pain she experienced before in her first marriage and losing her children. So right here, I sought help. I got back to my AA fellowship and found an amazing sponsor whom I call daily, me with once again as she takes me through the big book. I am on step 1 with her, and I am looking forward to all 12 steps. I'm once again very close to my higher power, whom I choose to call God. He's already working miracles in my life with 40 days sober. Wow. Congratulations, Julie. That's incredible. Those first few days are always so tough. So I'm so grateful that here you had some sobriety under your belt. You went back out for a little while and realized, oh, I'm going right down the same path I did before in my alcoholism. And not too long later, you come back to the fellowship and you're reworking it again. There are so many folks that they go back out and they never come back. So what a blessing it is that you've come back and you're working the program, and 40 days sober is incredible. Going on one day at a time, right? So, what a great message to folks that might still be out there, might still be wondering if they should come back. I think you are living proof that it is so worth it in coming back. And one thing that Julie said about finding her higher power again kind of reminded me of a story that I heard from a dear friend in the rooms not too long ago. And I just love the image and the message of it. He says, when God put me off the cosmic bus, he got off the bus and sat down beside me on the curb. He said, I will always be with you, but you won't see me again until you hit your knees and surrender. Then you'll see me everywhere. When Julie says she found God again, the beautiful thing is our higher power's always been there. We're just now starting to notice him again. Isn't that beautiful? Surrendering for her wasn't giving up. It was giving in and choosing life. I just think that's beautiful. Her last line, I love it. I am so very grateful and blessed for each and every new day sober, one day at a time. Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much, Julie. And thank you so much for the kind words and encouragement over the last few days or the last few weeks. You are a dear friend, and I always look forward to hearing from you and a few of the other regulars in the mornings. What a blessing. I hope that you enjoy another day sober today. And for those of you listening that can relate to Julie's story in some way, I hope you know that if you're sober today, you're a miracle. And you have a unique superpower to help the next suffering alcoholic, just like Julie did for me today. And if you are not sober today, I hope that you know that you're a miracle as well. That your story is not done yet, just like Julie's story was not done yet. Just like Chrissy's story and Henry's story and Whitney's story and so many stories. You hear the darkness, right? And as the big book says, how dark it is before the dawn. So I pray that today you would get the help that you need, and you don't have to do it alone. We've got your back. There are so many resources out there. The Everything AA app, you can track your sobriety. It's got the big book on there, 12 and 12. It's got hundreds, if not thousands of Zoom meetings that you can join. You've got your in-person meetings in your local area. You've got podcasts and, so many resources out there. All it takes is honesty, open-mindedness, and the willingness to try. So I pray today that you get the help that you need. And finally, my friends, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect or denomination. I am just a joyful drunk in this lifeboat of recovery. Honored to be here another day. And also, I want to say, I've already said this on the podcast in a future episode, but this is fresh off of the Team USA win in the Olympics. So we've got the women and the men who've won the gold in the Olympics, and I am still reeling off of that. And it just inspires me to live today to the fullest, to chase my dreams, where before in alcohol, all I wanted to chase was the bottle. What a blessing it is to be alive today. And if we are given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.